Ha? Slider. Coach setting. Doon nga yung game plan, coach setting. Taas. Yan, off. Gitna. Coach setting. Abay, substitution.
For the Utah Jazz.
On
Wednesday, they'll be matching up against Rudy Gobert. And from
Sinert. Center. Wala yan, dudulogin ko. Wala akong player.
Sino kay Kuya?
Utah.
Jazz? Ay, kakakain mo pwede yan. So, Spade, Jackson, Martin. Jackson, Martin.
Minnesota Timberwolves. Then on Thursday, they'll be matching up against Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks.
And looking at the Philadelphia matchup, that's one to watch for. Fourth contest of this brand new NBA season.
Oh, 3-3.
Interested
Balik
in how
tayo.
those teams match up in the early part of this year.
So let's take a look at the Charlotte starting lineup. Ball is the point with Miller on the wing. Gnibble out there with Miles Bridges. And it's Diabate in at the 5. And for the Jazz, they've got Walker Kessler. Bailey out there with George. Then it's Lowry Markkanen. And it's Jackson in at the 4. And the dunk by Jackson.
Putting that length and athleticism to use. Jackson rises up.
And the Hornets playoff drought continuing. Greg, their last postseason appearance, 2016.
Yeah, the rebuild grinds on. And last season, their worst record in over a decade. They're hoping these new additions can help.
Shot from 12. Outside Jackson. Wants to get it to Kessler and does. Back to Jackson. Just 5 to shoot. Jackson a screen on Ball. And the dunk by Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson's ability to both dive to the rim as well as pop out for a jump shot makes him an excellent partner in the pick and roll.
Took him no time at all on that one. Ball's got his second bucket of the game to go. Jackson is doubled. Outside for George. Stolen by Ball. The rebound by the Jazz. Last time they faced off, it was right here at home where they couldn't get it done.
And it's going to come down to effort tonight. Last time they met each other, they were demolished on the boards, and that rebounding difference led to a sizable loss.
Yeah, it wasn't their finest hour or finest 2 hours. It has to be a matter of pride for them this time.
The Hornets have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. And here's Miller outside. Excellent D there from Markkanen. Jazz have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Count that one.
Aggressive slash from the young guard. George fears no one when attacking the basket.
Ball finds Miller. Back to Ball. Bridges, right side. It's stolen by Bailey. Back to George. To the middle. And the dunk by Jackson.
Pretty basketball. George with the perfect speed.
Charlotte trailing. And let's go to the sideline. Here's Allen.
Hey, Kevin. Lauri Markkanen is a 7-footer with touch, but he can also attack off the dribble. Referencing comparisons to Dirk Nowitzki, he said, quote, when someone hits a fadeaway jumper, they say, that's the Dirk. Maybe someday I'll get the drag step to be called the Lauri. Back to you.
Ooh, that's a sweet move, too. All right, Allie, thank you for the report. To stand here, we have one of the bright young centers in the NBA, Walker Kessler.
Look, start with this with Walker Kessler, Kevin. A great rim protector. You're just not going to get layups with Walker Kessler on the floor. Then he's an outstanding offensive rebounder, and he's got great hands, which makes him very effective as a roll man in the pick and roll.
That's why you never quit battling on the offensive glass.
And that's a nice reward for his effort. The flush, perfect.
Well, that's what he does. He makes an impact with his activity on the board.
George finds Markkanen.
Eh,
The
yung gusto
shot's
eh.
good on the assist by
May
George.
pass mo?
George has
Akala
got
ko
4
center.
assists now tonight.
That high release that Markkanen has is such a weapon for him, especially in a catch-and-shoot situation.
Bridges misses. And so George will bring it up for Utah. It's a 3-point game. Driving inside. Jackson passes to Markkanen. And the officials call for a 3-second violation.
Now a chance to see the numbers for George. Last year, getting it done.
Bakit
He was
hindi
around
natakot
16 points per last year. 5 assists and 3 rebounds. Fantastic totals for him across the board. I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps rolling.
Yeah, and make no mistake, we're watching a special guy here, and his numbers only tell a fraction of the story.
Kyle Filipowski's checked in for the Jazz. Williams comes in for Lauri Markkanen. Miles Bridges, he's checked in for Charlotte. McNeely comes in for Knippel.
Well, he certainly had
Kaya
trouble
nga eh.
finding the mark this
Hindi
week.
ka ma-release mo.
Nice ball movement by Utah.
Kaya,
Nurkic the pass to Kyle. There's 49 seconds left in the first quarter. There's Williams with the 3, and Utah another 3.
Oo nga.
Unselfish
Hindi,
basketball.
ayaw nga manual
That's
ni
what
Kuya.
coaches love to see.
Pass to McNeely. Knocks down the 3 ball.
Both teams running perimeter-oriented plays.
Ulit lang kaya ng playstyle nila Melo pagka sa mga highlights.
Three-point shooting league. Teams shooting a steady dive from outside.
Here's Collier.
Bita na siya.
From 20 feet out. Comes out of the gate empty. He's 0 for
Yes.
1. And the call.
Uy, baka charging ko yan. Putan yan.
That is his first
Ito
foul
na
of
nga
the
ako
game.
eh.
Yeah, really good defensive play to cut him off there and square up.
Here's Collier.
Kaya, man.
White covering. It's stolen by White. And White slams it in.
He takes advantage of them in every way possible.
And Greg, he lures them into a
Oh,
turn on the steal.
kickball.
And then bang! Straight to
Ito
the
na lang,
bucket.
kickball.
Turning great defense
Hindi pa ako
into great offense. That's
Kickball
the
pa
kind
pala.
of stop you're looking for.
Here's
Shit.
Collier. And that would have counted, but his shot was off the mark this time. 1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. It's the Jazz leading by a point. Let's take a quick... And it's good to have you back with us as we celebrate St. Patrick's Day with more NBA action on 2K Sports. And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for Utah?
I have to applaud their ball movement. They're moving the ball around, finding the best looks they can, and keeping everyone involved.
And guys, they've also done a great job generating offense from their defense, forcing turnovers and making the defense pay for those
Okay,
mistakes.
well, sa
So on the
bounce
floor
pass.
for Charlotte to start this second
Kawawa
quarter.
na pala kickball na
We've got
sila.
White. Miles Bridges is out there with McNeely. Then it's James. George against James. George passes to Filipowski. And James picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. And now we're being joined by our 2K insider, Shams Charani, who's calling in with a good story. Shams, what do you have?
Well, for all the anticipation around NBA expansion, we might have to pump the brakes. I'm told a number of team owners are a bit hesitant to further carve up the revenue from this new national broadcasting deal, so the timeline may take longer than some fans had hoped.
They'll get there for sure. All right, Shams, we thank you very much for that report. Filipowski with it. He's against Bridges. He had a nice open look right there. And the Jazz lead by 2.
Their third three-pointer in a row.
Miller, and it's Miller with the jam.
And using his length to come right off the drive into the hoop there. Big-time move by Miller.
Here's Collier. Lays it up off the
Ano,
glass.
ako doon.
Collier's got his first basket.
And really, it's been a major aspect of their offense in the early stages here. Their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range.
Outside, White. Out to Miller. And the call will be on Keontae George. That is his first foul of the game. And Utah making a change here. Harkinen's checked in. And a switch here also for Charlotte. Ball's checked in to the paint. And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
Wow, what a pass there. He made that a very easy basket with that setup.
An efficient score. Kobe White effective with or great without the ball in his hand.
And that's a rare quality. A guard who can break you down off the bounce, but also willing to give it up and then zip to an open spot. It just makes him so difficult to defend.
And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation.
All right, a chance to check out some stats for Ball. Great showing for him last season. He averaged 25 points per, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. And he is such a huge part of what this team does on offense.
Yeah, their entire system would look different if they didn't have this guy to defend on.
What a unique skill set Jaren Jackson Jr. coach brings.
Ba ito matas kanina?
No question, Kevin. He's a two-way player, a defensive player of the year who also has proven he can be a primary scorer, and he can score it from the three-point line, or he can put it on the floor and go to the basket. Plus, he's got a post game. This is one of the most versatile players in the league.
Down low. They get a hand on it. It's stolen by Bailey. Kessler finds George. Trying to find Jackson. He's got it now. Back to George. Outside for Jackson. On the wing, George. Shot clock at 6. Fires away from outside. The Jazz again can't.
Ay, gago layo.
The Hornets have gone 3 of their first 5 shots to drop here in the second quarter. And Knipple with the basket on the assist by Ball. Knipple's got the lead up to 2 now for Charlotte. Pass to Jackson. The Hornets pull it in.
Oh, this is exactly the kind of opportunity you don't want to waste.
White, wide open. He fires. And it's the Hornets another 3.
They've settled into a nice groove offensively here in the second.
George passes to Kessler. He's stolen. Here's White. And another 3 for Charlotte. And taking a quick look here at the hustle stats for Charlotte.
Well, our coaching staff has to be happy with how active they've been defensively, forcing turnovers and making the offense uncomfortable.
And also, given the game is more fast-paced nowadays, I like the way they've capitalized in transition, keeping their foot on the gas.
Charlotte moving it around. It's stolen by Bailey. Now we'll hear from Allie LaForce, and she's got a story for us. An update. Allie?
Hey, guys. A big win here or there can really sustain a rebuilding team, and Utah coach Will Hardy said the results matter in order to keep belief in your process. Seeing the work pay off. The building of a team doesn't happen in one day. The players are staying with it, and they deserve all of the credit for that. Guys, back to you.
Okay, Allie, we thank you for the report. Ball with it. George picks him up. Ball against George. Ball's knocked loose. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And it's White missing.
I can't believe he missed that 3. Regardless, that's not a shot the defense should be given.
Ball against George. Here he goes. 16 seconds left to play in the first half. They could use a bucket. That's good on the jump shot. George has got his second basket.
Yeah, running the pick and roll like a veteran. Outstanding patience.
It's his first trip to the line.
And not the guy you want to see at the line too often. Season numbers has him in the bottom tier of the league.
And Kessler drops them both. It'll count. And no good in the last second attempt this time.
Well,
And that'll do it for the first half of competitive game so far. Hornets lead by 4. And we'll be back right after halftime for the start of the third quarter. We'll see you in a bit.
Matarik. Ayaw na mag-start.
Welcome, folks. It's halftime, and the Charlotte Hornets are in the midst of a very close game. And this is totally off topic, but how did you guys feel about games on back-to-back nights?
I didn't mind back-to-back games, but what I really like were back-to-back titles.
Yeah, I know a little something about that.
Let's shift focus back to the Utah Jazz, who find little separation after one half of play.
I hate what they're doing on defense. Giving up too many gimmies. It makes...
Thanks for spending half...
And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, the second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams try to gain an edge. You know, you have to like what we're seeing from Kobe White.
Yeah, and just look at the numbers from the first half. He has been very efficient.
Yeah, it's not like he's getting everything at the rim. He's playing smart and just taking what the defense gives him.
They've got Markkanen. Walker Kessler is out there with Jaren Jackson. Then it's Keontae George. And it's Bailey in at the shooting guard position. That's the group right now for Utah.
12 straight points off of three-pointers, and the D looks sheltered.
Markkanen down low. Diabate grabs the board.
Solid rebound there, and with a score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
A lights-out shooter. Opponents will learn quick. You have to guard Knippel tight, or he'll knock those down.
And talking to Con Knippel, Greg, he has a burning passion to be great. And just tell him.
Yeah, he gets up before everyone else and goes to work. Some people have called him an old soul, just very mature and disciplined.
Here's Markkanen, and there's the whistle. 3-second violation. At the break in the action, we've got a chance now to look at last year's top rebounders. You look at Kessler, a terrific rebounder, 5th overall.
What a season he had in the paint. I mean, his rebounding numbers really mind-boggling. Who wouldn't love to have a guy like that?
Here's Knippel. He's guarded by Markkanen. Bridges outside. Tries it from 19, and it's Ball. That time on the assist from Bridges. And now it's a 12-point Hornets lead. George looking around. Pass to Bailey. Back to George. Here's Bailey, covered by Miller. The Jazz need to get off a shot here. George. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation.
Well, that's an unforced error. If you want to drive your coach crazy, that's the way to do it.
Hornets leading by 12. Pass to Knippel. Inside. Out to Miller. Back to Ball. Miller outside. For 3. Ball no good.
Well, despite his lack of efficiency, the team has put together a good offensive effort tonight.
And a fast break now for the Hornets. Miller, the pass to Ball. Over George. Again, Ball missing.
Yeah, well, that's a shot the defense is probably going to let him keep taking.
George dishes to Jackson. To stop the drought, shot is good, and the Charlotte lead is cut down to 10 on the bucket from George.
And nice touch inside. George can finish from all 3 levels.
Out to Bridges. Miller outside. They grab their own miss. Stolen by George. Just over 3.5 minutes through the third quarter of play now. Here we go, one-on-one. Knipple wide open, and he fires.
Super work on the boards. Boy, they really want to put their foot down on him now.
Yeah, and once you got him on the rope, Greg just keeps swinging away.
Yeah, this is the spot where coaches want you to be relentless. Don't even give them a glimpse of it.
And maybe more than any team in the West, GA, the Jazz, really committing to the rebuild.
Well, in the West, it seems like you got 13 or 14 teams all trying to win now, and it just doesn't work that way. So it's not just about talent, it's also about timing.
Yung tigil ba tayo yung George na yun? Yung una ni Kuya hindi ako nakapass.
1:33 left in the third quarter. To the inside. That's good, and it's Jackson with the assist that time. George has got it back down to a single-digit deficit for the Jazz. And a timeout called by Charles Lee. This now will give him a chance to discuss some potential changes. So Utah ends up going with the new group. Here's White. Filipowski grabs the board. For Utah, they've gone 4 of 6 from the field since the start of the third. 1:04 left here in the third quarter. To the right side. And out of bounds as the Hornets gain possession.
And a moment here to check out some numbers for Nurkic. How he performed last season. Averaged about 9 points a game last year. 8 rebounds and 2 assists. Just a fantastic scorer off the bench. Always a factor in every game he plays.
Yeah, look, you need that kind of punch off the bench. Someone who can help shoulder the offensive load.
Here's Collier. Light covering. Here's Sensabaugh. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time.
Hornets ball.
Hornets leading by 11. Outside, White. Here's Knipple. And another 3 for Charlotte.
Yeah, that's too good a look to give him from behind the arc.
Pass to Collier. Here's the screen. Inside. No good with the layup. And so it's Charlotte sitting with a comfortable lead up by 14. And they've created a bunch of turnovers with that terrific D. And don't go away. We'll be right back. And let's go back to a terrific pass that we're calling tonight our State Farm assist of the game.
And how about the big fella here showing us he's got some point guard skill here with the tremendous setup.
Yeah, well, this is the diversification of positions in this league. Everyone does everything now.
And we reach the fourth quarter in a game that may be already out of hand. And on the court for Charlotte as we start the fourth. Grant Williams is out there with Brandon Miller. Then it's White, and it's Ball.
Oh, easy money for Miller. He just generates offense.
Outside, George. Nurkic setting the pick for George. And looks like the kick was set up. That's right there.
And not the most common call you'll see in the NBA, but hard to argue that pick wasn't illegal.
Yeah, and that's maybe something that should be called more. We see a lot of moving screens in today's NBA.
Here's what Charlotte's going with right now. Diabate's checked in, and it's Miles Bridges in for Grant Williams. And so it's Ball with it. He brings it up for the Charlotte Hornets. 16-point lead, the largest margin in the game.
And nice mechanics from Miller there. Ready to fire as that pass was coming.
It's George on the wing. And right away, they match it with a three-pointer of their own. George has got 9 points now in just the second half. Ball. Rebound by Nurkic.
Well, sometimes it's just not your night. But despite his struggles, they're ahead in the game.
Here's Knipple. Defended by George. Here's Ball.
Phoenix Step,
And the rebound by Nurkic.
He'll probably hear about that shot selection when he gets back to the bench. Maybe not their best option.
And that one's good, George.
Well, he's playing great tonight, but not quite well enough to carry the entire team. They need to find some other contributors.
Here's Knipple. And Knipple slams it in.
Crossing him up, Knipple with the handles.
Jazz trail by 15. Here's Collier. Here's
grabe, hang time na 3 seconds ahead.
Spending a decade as an NBA assistant coach, he has really paid his dues.
He's had 4 years with the Hawks, 5 in Milwaukee, part of that title team. 1 in Boston as well, another title. So he's been a part of winning, now trying to translate that to Charlotte.
Out left to the wing. Now Knipple beyond the arc. Filipowski grabs the board.
Dallas. Maganda naman yung Dallas sa City.
2.5 minutes into it.
Cooper Irving.
Markkanen passes to George.
Tapos malakas din yung ilalim.
Pass to Filipowski. Bridges with the steal. And even 3-on-3 break. Knipple no good.
Doesn't register as a block, but he did everything you want defending that shot.
Well, you know, sometimes the most pivotal plays don't always go on the stat sheet.
Jackson setting the pick here for Markkanen. Oh, that is a big-time jam.
Yeah, really nice to see Markkanen keeping his head up and finding the open teammate.
Really taking advantage of every scoring opportunity. They've somehow found a way to make this thing exciting.
And here's Miller. He'll bring it up for Charlotte. Earlier in the game, they had a 19-point lead. It's stolen by Bailey. George, strong move off the glass.
Easy to see the kind of impact George is going to have in this league. Already so productive.
Here's Miller. Shoots the 3. Down it goes for 3.
Their ability, again, to stretch the floor, particularly in this second half.
Yeah, and where has the defense been? They've been content to let them fire away. They've got to close out to the arc.
Yeah, this offense is rolling. They've been assertive, but they're also playing under control.
Yeah, you know, I like how they're not relying on just one guy to get it done. They're sharing the ball and keeping the defense guessing.
Outside, 6 to shoot.
It doesn't take much for Knipple to find him. Once he does, this guy goes into a scoring machine.
Outside, George. Now Bailey. Lebowski with it. No problem with the wide open jam.
Hindi naman center eh. Kasi sana yung center ni Kuya Kent.
Ready to attack.
And the call will be against
Sana yung center ni Kuya.
That's his third foul.
Pagka ganun, balak.
Just a great play to sacrifice his body and take the charge.
Walker Kessler, he's checked in for Utah. Here's the Jazz with the ball. They're on an 18-7 run. Now Markkanen.
Uy!
Layup, no good. Bridges with it. Guarded now by Jackson. Knocks down the 3.
Inspired tonight. They fought hard and at crucial points just made the plays.
Yeah, they saved their best basketball for this home stretch, and they certainly earned this one.
Outside Bridges. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Knipple. Guarded by Jackson. Kessler pulls it down. And it's on Knipple with the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
Hindi ang referee.
Pasok na ganun nga yung plano talaga. Kung pumito si Rip eh.
It's the Hornets picking up the win. They came in here and took care of business like they were the home team.
And Kevin, how about the mental agility that this group showed? They were never rattled at all by the opposing fans.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. Here with Stan Van Gundy, Greg Anthony, and Allie LaForce, I'm Kevin Harlan, signing off for this presentation of NBA basketball. But as we go, let's take a look at our player of the game, LaMelo Ball.
Okay, George. Ito, top 19 na. 6 assist. Oh, malakas ng bata na to. Ano ito? Kayonti, George. Ganda pa, ano ko kayo yan, Lamelo eh. Thanks sila na. Thanks na sila na. Kaya na tayo. 100% 3.6 is ang drug. Seven, so paano pa rin tayo?